Hello YouTube viewers, my name is Tyler Marchand. Today, for my best hit songs of 2002 video, I am coming to you from San Jose, California, hence why the video is out a day earlier than I expected. I'm here because I volunteered as the driving party for one of the supervisors of an ASCE competition at San Jose State University. As you can see, or maybe not, I'm in the campus student union. Boy, was driving here a challenge. I'm sorry if by any chance you, the viewer, are a Bay Area resident, but the drivers here are assholes. Anyways, 2002. Compared to 2001, this year was a massive downgrade. I'm not saying that this year was bad at all. In fact, I'd still say that it was quite good. However, I'm only talking about 14 songs today that rank as an 8 out of 10 or higher for me. If I were to include 7s, then this video would be about as long as the last one. Speaking of which, my regretted omission is Never Had a Dream Come True. Now we can get started with said honorable mentions. For those of you who are curious, back in 1996, No Doubt had Just a Girl as a hit. That song for me is a 7 out of 10, and just missed that best list. And Gwen Stefani's group had 2 other hits this year that were both okay. This song, however, is something else. Produced by the Neptunes, the main catch for the song is the fuzzy guitar that drives the chorus along, although the funk guitars during the verses are also very catchy in their own right. As much as I like this song, I wouldn't say I like it as much as Don't Speak, which, by the way, if it had made 1996's year-end list, it would have been talked about on that corresponding video. This is one of the most fun dance club songs ever, and no one is going to tell me otherwise. In yet another Neptunes produced classic, Nelly's living large at a dance club to the point where he wants the ladies to undress either from the intense dancing or from the mood they're apparently feeling. The song is just fun to try and sing along to, from start to finish. I'm glad that it was as big as it was. As tragic as it was that Aaliyah died at only 22, there is an extra layer of tragedy since the pilot should never have had a license. In all honesty, regarding her previous hit songs, almost all of them were good, but not good enough for me to place on any best lists. And I'll be honest, this song would have suffered a similar fate if it weren't for the Timbaland-produced main beat driven by the subtle guitar. More so than previous Aaliyah songs, the beat is what sells this love song for me. This was the first major hit from Colombian singer Shakira to cross over to America, and it is a beautiful acoustic guitar-driven love song. I don't know how many people are going to pick up on this when listening to the song, but for me, what caught my attention when I just now listened to the song that I was first exposed to back in 2006 was how much Shakira's vocal performance, especially in the verses, which are just beautiful by the way, the vocal performance, it sounds very similar to that of the Bangles' Eternal Flame. I promise you, if you listen to the 2 songs side by side, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, those were the honorable mentions. Now it's time for the top 10 proper. Let's get the party started, shall we? Number 10. I said, let's get the party started. Do I have to do everything myself around here? Come on, how was I going to pass down such a transition? It was around this time in 2002 that Pink transitioned from an R&B artist to the pop-punk artist that she was known for the rest of the 2000s decade. When it comes to songs from a 2002 album, Just Like a Pill is a 6 out of 10 for me, and Don't Let Me Get Me is a 7 out of 10. But this is something special. A true jam to pump you up for the party. The main draw of the song for me is the guitar instrumentation, which truly is a blast to listen to. That and the verses detailing all the crazy things that Pink is doing, they just have a fun sing-along feel to them. The song isn't higher on the list because of what sounds like auto-tune on her voice, which she does not need at all, but it is still a jam all the same. Number 9. Oh fuck, wrong song, how embarrassing. That's more like it. This was the only major hit song from the Phoenix-based alternative band Jimmy Eat World. This is a song that I still hear quite frequently on rock stations in the Reno area, and for good reason. The message of this relatively short song is simple. Don't let the views of other people dictate how you view yourself. From the palm mutes that give the verses their subdued sound, to the power chords that drive the chorus, to even a nice little guitar solo after that second chorus, the instrumentation in the song is layered in a way that makes this song an instant classic. Number 8. I only just realized now that as a kid, a lot of the movies that I saw in theaters and liked at the time aren't looked back upon fondly, like at all. Such examples include Spy Kids 3D, The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and especially Kangaroo Jack. Looking back, some of the stuff in that film in particular was not appropriate for kids. However, one good song was featured in the credits of that movie. Sheryl Crow is an artist that I grew up listening to quite a bit. She had prior success in the 90s, with If It Makes You Happy being a 7 out of 10 for me. However, this is a song that I just love. It has a fun, relaxing beach vibe thanks to that main guitar riff that I played in that little 10-second snippet. The lyrics are typical of what you'd expect for a relaxing beach song, but they take a backseat to the bouncy instrumentation. I don't care if this pick is controversial, I'll still stand by it. If you don't like it, lighten up. I'm sorry, I just had to do that. Number 7. Considering that I grew up mostly on rock music, and I rarely listen to hip-hop at this time frame, I think this may be very apparent by the fact that in the list I've done thus far, only 2 rap songs have been featured in the top 10 proper, both of them being very, very low in my 1996 list, so you know that a rap song has to be good if I place it in the top 10 proper. Back in 2002, Eminem seemed to be at his most successful, with 3 songs featured on the year-end list. This is probably the most personal of the 3, as Eminem reflects on his damaged relationship with his mother and all the things she did and said. The instrumentation complements the song nicely, with subtle pianos and bass guitar for the verses and subdued electric guitars for the choruses. This is going to be controversial, but this is going to be the only Eminem song featured on this particular list. Now that the disappointment is out of the way, let's move on, shall we? Number 6. Back in 2002, I was 6 years old, but even at that young, impressionable age, this was a song that I loved whenever I heard it on the radio, just as I was entering the 1st grade. It still gets played quite a bit today, and I'm pretty sure you all know why. If there was ever a quintessential artist for the early to mid 2000s, that artist was Canadian pop punker Avril Lavigne. This wasn't her highest charting hit, but it is the one that people remember the most. The song details a guy that Avril really likes that is trying constantly to act a certain way around her in an attempt to please her. But Avril really would prefer if he'd just be himself. As someone who was socially awkward growing up, I often tried to act certain ways to try and be cool. However, I found out later in my life that people tend to gravitate more towards the brash, loud, and unapologetic man that I am today, as that is the authentic me. Number 5. I've spoken out about how I'm not much of a rap person. Well, I'm not much of an R&B person either. So for an R&B song to make this list, it has to be good. When it comes to Usher songs, aside from one perhaps obvious pick, and maybe a few others, this is Usher at his best for me. The lyrics detail Usher relating to the listeners about how one knows that they got it bad. Some of the situations he lists are kinda dire, but for me, the instrumentation is what sends this song into the stratosphere for me. It starts off with some simple acoustic guitar that lasts for most of the song, until after the second chorus, where an electric guitar solo comes in, and it's a very soulful one, something that I wouldn't expect in an R&B song, or an Usher song for that matter. I'd be lying if I said that Usher would only go down from this, as we'll probably see in a couple of videos. Number 4. I don't know, for the life of me, why this song isn't played in Reno anymore. I mean, just listen to this. "2002 was a big year for Shakira, with this song being a modestly big hit. Admittedly, some of the lyrics in this song are kinda silly. I mean, confusing breasts with mountains. Yeah, that is just kind of funny though. However, for me, the lyrics take a backseat to the instrumentation and Shakira herself. The song has a nice African-inspired instrument feel to it, thanks to the woodwinds, especially those that play after the choruses. Vocally, Shakira is at her best right before those choruses hit, when she sings the "I'm at your feet." Now, since I know this song is beloved by a lot in the reviewing community, but if it's only at number 4, then what was better? Number 3. Back in 2001 came the sequel for American Pie. I kind of have a soft spot for that movie and the comedy that it has. When it comes to the songs from the soundtrack that became hits, the only one to become a year-end hit was Be Like That from Three Doors Down. There was another major hit that didn't make the year-end list for that same year, 2001, but was still popular on radio. If that song had made the year-end list, it would have been in the top 10 proper. But alas, it didn't make it. Thankfully, the follow-up was a big hit. Michelle Branch had some steam going on for a while back in the early 2000s. This singer from outside Phoenix is one that I wish had more than just 3 hits. But boy, were these songs special. Even as a teenager at the time, she had a very impressive voice, which shows throughout this song when she's trying to console someone heartbroken. What makes the song for me is the subtle instrumentation with the guitars that pick up for the choruses. Spoiler alerts, this is not going to be the last time Michelle Branch appears on a year-end list for me, so stay tuned for the future. Number 2. Fuck it, I just can't keep the facade up anymore. I lied. Come on, who honestly believed me when I said that Cleaning Out My Closet would be the only Eminem song on this list? Shame on you if you didn't know that I was duping you. Anyways, this is perhaps Eminem's signature song, and it is easy to see why. I tend not to focus on how long songs are, but even closing in on 5.5 minutes long, I still think that this song is too short. That's how good it is. After the little piano intro, electric guitars come in to drive the instrumentation of the song, accented by occasional pianos. But of course, the star of the show is Eminem and his bars, detailing the struggles his character from 8 Mile faced, with lots of very well-known and still today quoted lines, the least of them being the snap back to reality. Whoa, there goes gravity. Whoa, there goes gravity. Choke, he's so mad, but he won't give up. That does he know? For most people, this is without debate the best hit song of 2002. And it was close, but for me, it's only number 2. What was better? Number 1. Okay, I imagine that this list has been an emotional roller coaster for some diehards, hoping that a certain rap song would top my best list. Now that you know the song is on the list, but it's not at number 1. However, the top slot is still gonna go to a rap song. Well, it's only half rap, but still. Even approaching 2 years after the fact, I still find it hard to believe that Chester Bennington is gone. Even though it wasn't until the mid-2000s, thanks to my younger brother, that I started listening to Linkin Park, they were fundamental in my childhood years, or at least my preteen years. And this was their first and biggest hit. What does the song have going for it? Okay, I take that back. What doesn't it have going for it? Instrumentally, it has a phenomenal mix of pianos and guitars that drive the music. And then you have the performers. Chester was a very powerful vocalist, as emphasized in the bridge, but the star of the show for me is Mike Shinoda, with his bars detailing how he spent so much time trying to make a relationship work and failing. From the Hybrid Theory album, my personal favorite was Crawling, but this is the only major hit from that album. Even then, they chose a phenomenal song to start out their career, and in the end is my pick for the best hit song of 2002. Well, that was my list. Thanks for watching. If you aren't still mad at me for playing you like that and you like the video, subscribe or share with others. I'm trying to build up my channel and would like to be recognized by some of the bigger reviewers like Mark from Spectrum Pulse, Amber at TickleBOT, Finn of the Social Tune, or maybe even Dan aka Mr. 96. Next week, I should be staying in Reno over the weekend. So for the 2003 video, we should be back to the standard getup, and it'll likely be back to a Sunday release. Stay tuned for that. By the way, if you had trouble hearing me at some parts, because there are some things going on outside, if you had trouble hearing me at parts, let me know and I can maybe upload subtitles. Until then, I'm Tyler Marchand, and I'll see you next time. Take care.